Are you one of these people who say they are great at multitasking and you think that this is a great thing because you're so efficient? Guess what? Studies prove that the brain processes in a serial manner and can't actually multitask. So, what you're doing is starting and stopping very quickly over and over again. But that's not all. Your brain is like a TV. Imagine that there are all these channels broadcasting, but it can only tune into one at a time. That's exactly what we do when we choose a TV show to watch. We select a channel and keep it there. When the brain chooses what to pay attention to, it has a bias. It chooses based upon which show it thinks has the most impact on your well being. And this is heavily influenced by your past experiences, your DNA, and the intensity of the incoming signal. So, if you're hungry, you may pay more attention to the food channel. If you're preoccupied with your appearance, you may be more focused on diet, healthy living, or exercise channels, or just fit people. If you have a trauma background, you might either be riveted to crime shows or be completely turned off by them. But there is also the novelty factor. This is why shorts are so compelling. If we see something that we haven't seen before that appears exciting, we're more likely to tune in to that channel, if only for a short period of time. Today's skill is called One Mindfully in DBT and One Mindful Awareness in RO-DBT. In DBT, it is the practice of being fully present in one moment without judgment, so no multitasking. And RO-DBT also includes staying open, flexible, and aware of social signaling or nonverbal communication. And it's important to learn because it builds emotional regulation, reduces reactivity, and makes your relationships better because it allows you to consciously choose what to pay attention to rather than having your TV hijacked. Since DBT is the more basic version of the skill, let's start there. So when we are being one mindful, we're doing one thing at a time, and that can be anything. So we're breathing, we're doing the dishes, having a conversation, listening to a podcast, or feeling sad. We're in this moment. We're not anxious about what might happen or sad about what did happen. We're present with what's happening right now. And we're doing it without judging, complaining, explaining, or anything. We're just allowing it to be what it is. So it sounds easy, and it can be. The most common challenges are getting distracted by something else and rushing to judgment or trying to fix something. And this is not about that. It's just about allowing what is to be. We might fix it later or we might evaluate it later, but right now we're just being with it. RO-DBT adds openness. It's hard to be non-judgmental if we're not open, right? If I broke up with my boyfriend or he just broke up with me, I might have 10,000 thoughts about what did or didn't happen and who did what to whom. And the more open I am, the easier it is to be in a place of acceptance and being. Flexibility helps, right? So let's say that my boyfriend broke up with me to give his relationship with an ex another chance. Obviously, that doesn't feel good, but if I can be flexible and ask how would I feel if I were her, I might be able to soften. That's what flexibility does for you. It gives you the option so that your feelings, your past, your fears aren't the only things influencing your present moment. It's a way of zooming out. RO-DBT also suggests that we're receptive to novelty. In other words, we think outside the box. Nobody wants their partner to break up with them, and when we think new thoughts, it can make us more excited and open to the future that starts here. For example, my boyfriend breaks up with me, and I think, I wasn't going to take that language class because I didn't want it to interfere with my time with my boyfriend, but now my schedule's wide open. Or I had some doubts about our long term compatibility because he doesn't want kids, and now I don't have to cross that bridge. One mindfully can help us to be more socially connected because we're present with others. We catch more social signals and are more aware of our nonverbal communication. We're less reactive and easier to be around. If you're practicing one mindfully and notice that your mind is wandering, ask yourself, what am I avoiding right now? Or what social signal am I sending right now? I used to be a judge in dance competitions, and I was later told that everybody hated to have me as a judge because when people were performing, I would scowl at them. It's just like, and other judges might clap or smile encouragingly. And I had no idea that I was doing that, but in my mind, I was focusing on what they were doing. So even if I was enjoying the performance, I was going to have to critique it later. So I wanted to catch everything. So I was focused. In that case, I was avoiding missing something and sending the signal that I hated what I was looking at. So stay curious and make sure that your insides and your outsides match. There's another difference in DBT and RO-DBT with one mindfully and one mindful awareness. In DBT, the goal is managing emotions so you stay in control. In RO-DBT, the purpose is addressing over control and leaning into openness. So, hearing my example above, can you guess which way I lean? Let me know what you think in the comments. To practice this, find something to give your full attention to for 3 minutes. So, something sensory works great. So, something you can hear, see, taste, touch, smell for 3 minutes, like a piece of hard candy, listening to music, squeezing a stress ball, smelling the pine needles on a walk. It doesn't really matter what it is. Now, set your timer and do that thing for 3 minutes. There are going to be layers of experience, so it's not the same all the time. When you do this a time or two, you will notice how rich everything is, and maybe you'll fall in love with life. If you get stuck, silently ask yourself, what am I aware of now? And what about now? And now? And you'll see that it's different. It might only be a tiny bit different, but it's different. I find that fascinating. It's amazing how much we miss because we think we've got something and stop paying attention. One mindfully is also a great skill to practice when you're feeling bored. Surrender to the boredom and you'll notice how it goes away. It's funny. The more you look for boredom, the harder it is to hold. There's one more important point to mention when it comes to RO-DBT, and that's humility. A lot of people with overcontrol are highly intelligent, capable, efficient, and feel that they know what's right. So it can be hard to stop doing what they do and try something that they aren't sure will work. If this is you, humility is a way to make sure that you're being really non-judgmental. When we're humble, we're open and easier to connect with because we're taking into account other people's needs, desires, values, and worldviews. What's effective depends upon the context, and winning the race to lose the relationship might not be the most effective path. Or getting the most money or gaining the beauty crown at the cost of honor might be a very costly game. It's about being dialectical. So think about all of your skills. So to recap, another way to think of one mindfully is to savor. Savoring is an idea from positive psychology, and it is shown to be one of the habits of happy people. If you're a person who feels anxiety helps you, savor your worry. If you like multitasking and don't want to give it up, savor your multitasking. If you feel a sense of urgency upon you, lean into that. Feel it. Experience it. Whatever you're doing, do it with all your non-judgmental attention and let me know how that changes things. See you next time. Ciao.